It's the DMV Wave Doctor, located right here in Bowie, Maryland. All right? Oh, child, the weed doctor has been going through, honey, okay? I've been having terrible sinuses. Lord have mercy, okay? Oh, Lord, and then I've been dealing with some, some going through the woman's cycles, okay? The cycles of life, okay? Oh, my goodness, the weed doctor is just feeling tired and fatigued. Y'all better pray for the weed doctor. Get the weed doctor. That's what I need. I need a steak and cheese egg roll. Okay? But today, we're going to be talking about hair loss and also how it's brought upon by medical and health conditions. Okay? So, and that's why we do the hair tissue mineral analysis so that individuals can come in and they can find out, like if they're lacking minerals, if they're dealing with low iron, if they have bio-unavailable copper. We can look at a lot of different things, find out where the zinc and a lot of other different type of macro and micro minerals. All right, the weed doctor's going to put in the chat how you can book your hair loss appointment. All right, we're going to do that right now, okay? So I hope you guys are having a lovely day. A lovely day. Okay? Yes. So, pretty much, when you're dealing with hair loss, it can be caused from poor diet. And the weave doctor experienced this herself. And there's a lot of people that's going vegan. The weave doctor was pretty much on about to be like, I would say probably like a 20 or 15% vegan diet. But I might have only had like 10 to 15% of animal products in my diet. And honey, woo! The weave doctor was just bounted and bounted, bones on bones on bones. Even though I was still cute and all. But, for me, because I'm a high energy person and do a lot, I felt like that diet did not provide me the amount of nutrients, especially for my body type. And I was a fast oxidizer. So when you get your hair analysis, you're going to find out if you're someone who needs a larger amount of protein. And so, honey, the weave doctor was not getting her protein consumption in. That's why sometimes if you don't eat the protein in your food, you need to find ways to drink the protein as well. So that, because the protein really helps with a lot of things. It helps with collagen formation, helps with nice skin. And I will say, it seemed like when I was doing that vegan thing and like removing a lot of oils out of my diet, child, the weave doctor was stripping down. Okay, and it's like when I did that, I felt like my skin was getting a lot drier. Now, everyone has different, even like the massage therapist I was going to was asking that I eat a lot of healthy oils and healthy fats. And he could tell by some of the dryness in certain areas of my skin. And so that's why it is imperative. We all have to go upon what's best with our diet. I'm not saying that being vegan is a bad idea. But if you're dealing with hair loss and if you're somebody that might be having anemia or if you're a fast oxidizer, you're in a catabolic state, meaning your body is breaking down, and maybe you're more susceptible to different type of bone conditions, arteriosclerosis, other things like that, vein issues, things like that. You may be someone who needs to intake more protein in their diet. And we can find a lot of those things out by some of the hair tissue mineral analysis and some of our other different type of health modalities to help you figure these things out. So pretty much, as far as these things are concerned, we're going to name some different health conditions that can be affected by diet. Number one is anemia. And this is a very, very, very popular one. A lot of people do not realize how, anemia can interfere with hair growth and thinness. The weed doctor went through this herself because, again, I was not eating enough protein. And I was trying these diets, listen to some of these holistic practitioners, especially ones that are vegan advocates. And the weed doctor hair was just getting thinner and thinner in the top. I just could not believe it. And don't you know, when the weed doctor started, I made a formulation, like an iron formulation, that helped to regrow my hair back in the middle, make it more thick and fuller. Excuse me, I think I had some pics that when I was doing that vegan thing and where it's like my hair was getting all thin in the middle. And like months later, I started seeing that to fill in and to thicken up, I started to intake more protein within the diet. So I've seen this firsthand on, I'm just not speaking on this just because, I don't have any experience, but I've also experienced myself, and I've seen it in some of my clients. All right, so and sometimes with the iron deficiency, some people may get shots depending on how low it is, or they take different supplements. I have one, I believe it's called Hemoplex. That's been working well for me. The only thing about sometimes with iron pills is that they can cause a lot of constipation, and a lot of people deal with that, as far as like the constipation thing is concerned. All right. Okay, so anemia, we checked that box. The next one is having any type of thyroid condition. And when you get your hair tissue mineral analysis, we we find out if your thyroid is hypo, or if it's in a balanced state. A lot of the fast oxidizers, they're going to be more susceptible to hyperthyroidism. I believe, what was it? Wendy Williams had Graves' disease, different bulging of the eyes. There's different conditions that can come on through, with making your thyroid issues worse. Also, if you have any thyroid issues, that can cause hair loss as well. And it can be made even worse by the type of food that you intake on a regular. Like if you're eating a lot of bromide, you're eating a lot of cakes, a lot of breads, processed foods, all of these things, they strip the iodine and other different type of key nutrients and essentials out of the body. All right. So these are just some things to really, really, really look into, All right. So let's see what else is on the Weave Doctors Healthy Delthy list. Okay. We've got a handy dandy notebook. All right. So we went over the thyroid. The next thing is diabetes and circulation. Now, this is a really big one. A lot of people, that's why I know the Weave Doctor has pretty much got to the point where I've gotten to the point where I've been able to stabilize my blood sugar for the most part, in a healthy manner. That's why, even though the Weave Doctor used to really love drinking a lot of alcohol when she was younger, right now I rarely, if ever, do that. If I do, it's a very, very, very small, tiny amount. Child, almost invincible. Okay. All right. Because I know for my body type and with the conditions that I deal with, that I'm predisposed with by my genetics, that it actually makes me more susceptible to hypoglycemia. So there's a lot of individuals who, if you're pre-diabetic, if you have any type of blood sugar regulating issues or any type of insulin resistance, then you need to refrain from eating a high carb diet. Then the Weave Doctor used to love pasta. Oh my goodness. And once upon a time, the Weave Doctor actually was a lot thicker. I had gained a lot of weight. And baby, we was pasting it up. We was eating Chinese food every day, eating all that rice, just all the carbs you can ever think of. And it's no condoning anyone that eats that lifestyle. However, as for me, I did not want to take, the regular medicines over the counter. So I chose the holistic route through one of my friends, mothers, and she educated me on going to a practitioner that taught individuals to eat to live. And so with that, I had, learned how to eat in a healthy manner, and I still eat this way to this day. Now, it's not always perfect because the Weave Doctor does love soul food and a lot of other different things. My parents, some of my parents were from the South in the Midwest, so they were used to cooking a lot of soulful and, African-American inspired dishes. So that is what I am used to. So I still do be eating my child. I will eat some chitlins and pig feet, okay? Don't play with the Weave Doctor. I'll be eating my mac and cheese, my cornbread, greens, beans, tomatoes, potatoes, ham. You made it, okay? The Weave Doctor's going to be eating all of that, but I do it in moderation. It's not like I'm doing this on a consistent basis. So, but with that being said, I had to remove a lot of the excess breads. And also, so now I've started reintroducing some breads because the Weave Doctor child was getting too scanty. I've now been adding back my healthy fats and oils back to my diet. So, I can feel like I have my healthy lady weight, okay? The Weave Doctor said she may get up to about 155, 160. I'm like 150 now. So the Weave Doctor's on her little healthy weight gaining journey because I have been eating such restricted diet for so long. And so now I have the time and energy to focus on my nutrition even more. So, the Weave Doctor's doing stuff that she wants to do, okay? But she wants to do. So yeah, with all that being said, these high sugar, and we actually got I believe it's the calcium magnesium ratio where we're able to detect. I could be wrong about that. Could be the sodium magnesium. But anyways, one of the ratios I don't have all of the paperwork right in front of my face, but there are certain particular ratios that we look at as far as indicating if that individual is going to be somebody that is resistant, have like insulin resistant, and if they should be eating a lot of carbs. So we got it all covered in this daggone hair tissue mineral analysis. Make sure to get your hair tissue mineral analysis today. Inbox the Weave Doctor, DM us, look at the link tree, fill out the Trichology form if you're interested in any of these types of services, okay? And, right here, while we're reading in this Trichology book, when you are dealing with diabetes and circulation issues, this can also be from poor blood circulation, which often contributes to hair loss as well because, in order for your hair follicles to receive nutrition, they must have an adequate amount of oxygen and, and that becomes a hindrance if you're dealing with some of these vascular or different type of conditions that are preventing the circulation of blood to the scalp and to the follicles. Okay? So, and it says it right here, poor circulation prevents follicles from receiving what they need and function properly. And that's why the Weave Doctor offers the laser hair therapy, which increases circulation of the scalp anywhere by 54%. And we have other vasodilators in the scalp, at our Trichology clinic area, that can help promote blood flow to the scalp. That's why it is imperative, you guys, that you go see your trichologist. The dermatologists are good too, but the trichologist also looks at things from a more holistic standpoint. Practitioner, we're doing a lot of treatments, scalp therapies, not just things that are just like, non-invasive treatments. We have a lot of different things that we can do that can keep some of these conditions at bay. And especially with the Weave Doctor that has a lot of different certifications in health, I can help you, to modify some of your diet so that you will be able to be successful and to keep the hair follicles that you do have, or at least not to lose them at a greater pace. Thank you so much for your time. And we hope that you guys have a wonderful afternoon. Well, now it's going to be evening, okay? So we hope that you learn some tips. And make sure to submit some different, if you have any questions, make sure to DM the Weave Doctor, even if they're funny. I think one of my clients and buddies was saying that we need to start doing some type of Weave Doctor questions. We may be having some fun questions, okay? So let's see what's going to come in the future. All right. You guys have a wonderful afternoon, evening now. Bye.